Okay, so talking about adding and subtracting with polynomials, I'm going to do two separate videos. As you may have noticed, the notes are on the same page. You can actually probably see the next set of notes on subtracting on the screen right now. It's on the bottom of my screen anyway. But I will do two separate videos. So on the first one, when we're adding polynomials is very simple. All you really do is drop the parentheses and then combine like terms. The reason being is that when you distribute a plus sign, it doesn't change anything. The only exception to the rule is if there's a number in between the plus sign and the parentheses of the polynomials that you're trying to add together. Other things to remember, I always see struggles with this, is when you add variables, all you do is add the coefficients. X plus x is 2x's. If you have 4 x's sitting on your table and I give you 5 more x's, now you have 9 x's sitting on your table. So notice I'm not changing my exponent in any way. So looking at the first group, I see I have this parenthesis around my trinomial 3x squared minus 8x plus 7. Well, there's nothing to distribute in. Order of operations, I can't do anything in those parentheses, so I really don't need them. So I'm just going to drop them and say I have 3x squared minus 8x plus 7. When I look at my second set of parentheses, I have a plus sign I could distribute in, but positive times 4x squared is still a positive 4x squared. Positive times 3x is still a positive 3x. And positive times a negative 11 is still a negative 11. So then from here, the only thing left to do is combine like terms. I have a 3x squared and a 4x squared. They add to give me 7x squared. I have a negative 8x and a positive 3x. Well, negative 8 and positive 3, 8 minus 3 is 5. Keep the sign of the bigger number, gives me negative 5x. And then I have a 7 and a negative 11, two constants that do not have a variable. 7 and negative 11, again, signs are different. Subtract, I get 4. Keep the sign of the bigger number, I get minus 4. Since x squared and x are not the exact same variable part and 4 is just a constant, I can't combine anything else, and there is my final answer. If you want to try example 2 or 3 and then unpause it and listen to how I do it, please go ahead and do that. Going on to example 2, I'm going to do the same thing. There's nothing to distribute in front, so I'm going to go ahead and just say negative 4x squared minus 7x cubed plus 8. Again, distributing a plus sign doesn't change anything. I can't combine anything in those parentheses, so I'm just going to go ahead and drop them. Okay, now that I've dropped my parentheses, I'm going to check and see if there's any like terms to combine. Well, I see negative 4x squared and negative 7x squared would be negative 11x squared. I see, and notice that I like to kind of group them and make sure I have everything by doing different kind of things to each of the like terms. So notice I put lines under the x squareds. I do a squiggles under my cubes. Negative 7 and positive 11, I subtract since the sign are different. I get a 4. I keep the sign of the bigger number, which this time was positive. 4x cubed. 8 and negative 15 is negative 7. And then finally, I have to make sure and grab this plus 6x. We should, however, always write things in standard form. Standard form means we start with our largest exponents and we decrease. So 3, 2, 1, if it's not written, constant. So I'm going to take one more step and say that my actual best final answer is 4x cubed minus 11x squared plus 6x minus 7. And moving on to the final example with adding, you can go ahead and ignore my subtracting, but like I said, I did put them on the same page. We'll do that in the next video. So one last one to simplify. So again, I see I'm trying to add these together, but I notice that this time, a little bit different, there's a number out front first. So the first thing I'm going to do is distribute that 2 in and distribute that 3 in, which will in essence get rid of my parentheses, just like I've done above. Distributing the 2 in, I get 2x squared plus 6x minus 8 plus 3x squared minus 12x minus 15. Combining like terms, 2x squared and 3x squared is 5x squared. 6x and negative 12x is negative 6x. And negative 8 and negative 15 is negative 23. And I'm in standard form since I go 2, my quadratic term, 1, my linear term, no exponent, my constant term. And then that is it. So a big thing to remember, distributing a plus sign does not do anything.